Yup.
Give me a second.
Facts.
What do I get?
Y'all know what it is. Live and direct. I'm already rolling.
All right, so bear with me, talk to the people, let them know we here in just 5, 4.
We here live and direct in Sight From The Godz. Y'all know what it's going to be. Another good topic, another building session.
I don't know what I hit.
You know what I'm saying? Here to reach the masses. Here to enlighten the people. Insight from the Godz. Let Brother Knowledge build and give y'all his energy tonight.
Indeed, no doubt. I'm always honored to be on here to be able to touch a vibration that's going to reach somebody, even if it's one person. But the thing is, we're going to have some topics on here. It's going to be a variety of them, from healing the divide, from letting people be where they are until they are not. And I think that's a powerful topic because a lot of times we try to change people and we interfere with their development into what they really supposed to become. And we think we helping, but we really interfering with their process.
Right.
So how do we know the difference of when to help, when help is really help, and when it's really disguised interference? So that's something that to think about because a lot of times we call it love. You know, we do things out of love. Well, I'm doing it because it's my child, or I'm doing it because it's my mother. But really, is it compromising them or their growth or development? So they some of the things that's entertaining for thought.
Right.
Because we all face that kind of stuff every day. So tune in. We ready to get to it.
No doubt. Ready to give y'all the business and drop some heavy jewels so you can equip the youth, equip your household, so we can learn how to make a household function. Man, woman, and child. These jewels is for the family universe, the sun, moon, and the stars. Man, woman, and child.
Indeed.
That way the whole universal family functions properly off of the right medicine, or as Brother Knowledge say, the thought treants.
That's right.
Feed the mind with the good thought treants.
Indeed.
Facts. Yeah. And so as we recognize sometimes to teach or to elevate, we got to be doctors. Sometimes a doctor can look in the eyes of the patient and do a diagnosis just off of what they see in the patient's eyes. Sometimes they got to look at the patient's tongue and see what they're suffering from just by the analysis of their tongue. And since we spiritual doctors and mental doctors, we don't have to look at your tongue. We are looking at what come out your mouth, what the tongue use. And so since we are here to help heal our people, and we're always dealing with the healing process, man, it's going to get deep. It's going to get heavy. And if you stuck, then it's going to hurt a little bit. Sometimes medicine tastes nasty.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sometimes
tastes like peach cobbler.
No doubt. So sometimes when you digest that meal, it's going to hit you kind of bitter, make you feel a certain kind of way. You might be tight at us. But at the end of the day, man, it's all for our growth and development or not. Sometimes, like the brother said, we got to leave you where you at until you're ready to go elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we'll try to help, but our help is an interference with a karmic debt that you might owe. And sometimes you'll be stuck on a level and making no motion spiritually or mentally because at the end of the day, you're a karmic debt and you can't even raise your vibration till that debt is paid. And a lot of times we forget that. So now our help is like we're involved, but we're not that concerned where we're going to make you have to keep repeating the same lesson or non-lesson depending on what is or is not needed. This is one of those ambiguous lessons where you could take it both ways, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what we are addressing, you know what I'm saying? Today is what the people need, you know what I mean? And what they have to offer and what they have to receive. Sometimes you got to empty your glass before we can pour what we got to offer in it. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people not willing to pour out that old water or that old juice and get some new wine or some new juice pulled in that glass. You know what I mean? But like I say, we got to check the pulse of the people, man. We got to do a diagnosis, find out where they're sick at. Because sometimes when you don't check the diagnosis or get them a checkup from the neck up, you be applying medication that's not even needed.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what happened when you give a person 2 months anesthesia? You know what I'm saying? You can kill them from trying to save them. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to kill you or hurt you from trying to save you. But at the same time, we know our duty as civilized men. So we always going to reach to the masses to pull you up, to raise your vibration, you know what I'm saying, to share our experiences with you and life lessons. You already know that finding your purpose is always wrapped up in our message. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is on that.
Indeed, indeed. Welcome, YouTube. We finally made it. We finally got on the air. Healing the divide. That's one of the topics we're going to be talking about. How to heal the divide, how to identify what that healing consists of and where it come from. Because oftentimes we don't know where the root to a thing is. I read a book by Robert Greene. I'm sure some of you familiar with Robert Greene, called The Laws of Human Nature.
Good book.
And it really helps you get to the root of early childhood trauma. So when you read that book or you understand that concept, it helps you get to the root of where your anger come from, where your level of anger come from, and all of the things that agitate you and interfere with your development. They're things that hasn't been tamed yet. And it helps you identify it so you can cultivate it and turn it into your better self. And oftentimes, if you don't know that that exists, or you just accept that as a part of the norm of yourself, then you go through life in mediocrity and you accept mediocrity, and you'll never get to rise to that state of nirvana, as they say in the East. So healing the divide, like we say, is getting to the root of that healing. And do you know the root of your healing and where your trauma began? Because sometimes we've been through trauma so much, we can't even identify a beginning point. You know what I mean? Because we became so accustomed to what we've been through. It became the norm until you get around people that haven't been through that. And you see how beautiful the world is and what peace really look like and what love look like, and you get outside your element. Then you want to start saying, damn, like, I like the way that feel. That's the energy and the frequency that I supposed to have naturally. So it's like, how do you bring that frequency back to a frequency that's vibrating low? Do you let that absorb your light, or do you do it one piece at a time? Because if a person don't know they're healing, is it worth you trying to diagnose it for them? So it's like, how far should the help go?
Right.
When you trying to help, because we all need help to some degree, but it's like, how far is too far? You know what I mean? Or
you can lose yourself.
You can lose yourself and trying to help. So it's like, you can't save the world, of course. So it's like, how do we differentiate? Because it's like black people, we got this thing that we feel like to not help helps us, right? We got that selfish mentality. So we want to hoard everything to self. But we see a reflection of it that doesn't help us unite. It creates the divide. So it's like you're really feeding the divide. So it's like, once knowing that you're feeding the divide, now you got to starve the divide. And you do that by reverse osmosis. You reverse the same thing that you was doing. Help instead of ignoring. Speak instead of frowning. It's the polar opposite. It's like, if we want different results, we got to do different things. And that's where the healing comes from: accountability and accepting your flaws of where you are and what need to be shaped. You know, some of us don't like to be corrected. We know we wrong, but if nobody tell us that, then we think we can keep getting away with it. So a lot of times we need somebody to tell us we wrong. We need our feelings hurt.
Right.
Because if you don't like the feeling, don't get mad at them for not changing their behavior. Get mad at yourself for being affected by it.
Right.
Because we can't change other people, but we can change how we affected by things. You know? So that's a lot of times we put too much control on other people. And when we going through things or whatever, and we'll put that control right in their hands, like they're responsible for fixing our reality.
Right.
Raised to the standard, we create an attitude with these people like they don't have a life too. You know what I mean? And a lot of relationships get severed over that, and it'd be about money. It'd be about some of the smallest of things, because a person couldn't come through for a person at one time. And sometimes we feel a certain kind of way because of the rest of the stuff going on in our life. Not that per se,
Right.
but it'd be about accumulation of all the other stuff that we ain't processed yet. So make space for new shit. New problems gonna keep occurring.
Yup.
But don't pile them up. Get rid of them old ones. Solve that shit. Resolve it. So you can make room for, because some more coming.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna stop. So we gotta toughen up, keep pushing. We ain't blaming nobody. We just gotta change our behavior for them kind of situations.
No doubt.
Like you
That's
said,
all.
sometimes you gotta hurt people's feelings. It is what it is.
It is.
Because I can be hurting you by keep helping you. You'll
Absolutely.
never learn your
That's
lesson.
right. Never
You'll
learn.
never
I
stop.
want you to change.
And
I don't
somebody
want
else can be looking across the room at you looking like you weak. But the
Absolutely.
whole time my brother's sitting here holding me up, got my back.
Right.
No, he really making you look like his baby brother holding you like a baby.
Right. That's
No,
right.
that's what making you weak. You
That's
grown.
right.
People
That's
don't
right.
understand
Yeah.
that.
It's like before that bird take flight, you'll see it struggle to get its balance. And sometimes when a person lean on you so much, you never allow them to develop their own balance so they can take flight on their own. Because like she just said, they're using you as a prop. Then the deepness of it all is allowing the process of healing to take place after not only identifying the sickness, but recognizing where the divide happened at. Because sometimes you can start growing to a point where the people around you feel like you're creating a divide because you left them. Then you start doing yourself an injustice by feeling guilt that they imposed on you and start dumbing down your work because you don't want to leave them.
Right.
And so now you got to deny your destiny or your purpose and your growth just to appease their fractured ego because they feel like, damn, you leaving me stuck here. And it happens when we attain money, when we attain stardom, where we reach for higher goals. It's always somebody that's being left behind, not because you want to leave them, but because they're refusing to take your advice or learn to grow alongside with you. And so when that happens, pardon me, that creates that gap. You know what I'm saying? That creates that divide that we're trying to heal. And sometimes we are the cause of the gap, but not in a negative way. We're the cause of the gap because we doing what we supposed to do. And even when we make our mistakes, we're wise enough to say, damn, let me kick myself in the ass. Let me hold myself responsible. Let me remind myself of my own ethical code that I should be living up to. And this is what others, build powers, the 85% or the masses of the population don't understand yet. When you hold yourself accountable, it allows you to heal faster because the outside force ain't got to say, look, yo, you got to do this, you got to do that. You're telling yourself where you went wrong because you recognize it, because that light has been turned on. But then you have the social constructs of society that interfere and create this divide. You might be at a job and you and a person start off at the same level in the workforce. Y'all got the same degrees that y'all went to school for. Both of y'all got masters. Both of y'all got all these AAs and BAs and MAs behind your name. But one start excelling faster because they are favored or they understand the science of how to relate to people better than the other. And so it would create a gap in the workforce between friends and co-workers, or a great divide. And now you trying to hip the other one like you need to learn how to do this because you got the intelligence, but now you need the skill set of how to handle people and deal with people in order to excel. And some people don't have that. We all have different gifts and everybody don't have it. And so now the person who's left behind in a gap, this is where the problem comes. They start getting mad at you, thinking it's your fault that they're left behind. When it's not your fault, you gotta hold yourself accountable. And so like in the movie Training Day, he told Denzel, slid him the pistol, like, you gotta put your own work in around here, homie. Right. And so that's the problem. We don't wanna put our own work in. We want to wait until wood blow up, and then after you didn't support them, you ain't buy the book, you ain't support, you ain't sit down in no think tank, you ain't recruit no youth, you ain't bring nobody his way. As soon as you hear the bag coming, yeah, that's my motherfucking homeboy, LT for life. It wasn't LT for life when we was looking for you motherfuckers to come support this group.
Right, I see all that.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shit, sometimes, man, we gotta call it like it is, and that's one thing that we are going to do.
Yeah.
We gonna give it to you raw. If you do some shit that we think is not peace, we are going to inform you that shit is not peace, and it's not to get out on you. It's not to shame you. It's not to create a divide or a gap. It is to try to heal it, but we can't heal it if we all being phony with each other. You got motherfuckers popping in and out of our life and want props as if they always been there. Like, no, we can't do that because other people came and fulfilled the slot that you abandoned.
Right.
And now you want to be rewarded for something that you did not do. No, we not going to do that. You know what I mean? But in the middle of my build, man, because I was so happy and elated, man, and ecstatic about our group last night, man. The amount of people that showed up, even though it was another event taking place at Center for Hope, y'all came out. The energy was peace. The numbers was there. Special shout out to my sisters who showed up to support. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, yo. I even got a shout lump out. I can't. I gotta give Miss props.
You gotta give it where it's due.
No doubt.
Lump showed up. Lump brought the people. Man, listen, you know I said this before. You know we got a lot of people at the group when all the food gone. Because y'all know I like to feed the people. When all the food gone, yeah, you know a lot of people showed up. You know what I mean? Shout out to Clark for going down the way and getting some of Manwood homeboys who we've been trying to get up to the building for years. You know what I mean? Salute. And it all came full circle, man. It was like a good meeting last night, and we don't want to have to suffer from this divide.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With the divide, but we understand that the divide must happen and must take place. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna keep building, we're gonna keep working, and our goal is to wake up as many as we can, but we're not gonna hurt you by trying to wake you up. And that's what our build is basically about. Yeah, we recognize there's a divide. Sometimes a divide is needed. Oftentimes it's not. But when it is, we recognize when it is and for what purpose the divide serve. And sometimes your message got to be timely because sometimes we be misdiagnosing people. You know what I'm saying? We might say things to a particular audience that don't need that kind of message. If the youth in there and you giving a wrong medicine to them, then your help is just as worthless as your non-help. So your message got to be timely, got to be on point, and that comes from being authentically involved in their lives outside of think tanks and groups. You got to check up on them, make yourself available, be authentic. Stop trying to buy them with gifts and give them the gift of knowledge and cultivation and manliness. Shout out again to the women for talking to the young brothers and making them understand what that motherly nurture was. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times they don't get that in the group. They just get the masculine. So I'm going to let the God add on as we proceed.
Indeed, no doubt. Heavy bill, Elo, for sure. Everybody's included. We all got a part to play. Like,
No doubt.
we in dire straits. Like, we don't own no stores or nothing. We really gotta look around at our reality because we being shaped by the environment, the stuff that's around us. That's what we partake. So we only can be a reflection of what we around.
Yeah.
Facts.
So if we don't change the scenery, then how can we create beauty from an ugly scenery? You know what I mean? So it's like we gotta destroy and rebuild. You know, and that's what it's about, man. So it's like we just try to do our part and reach people. You're going to have some people that you're going to really, really like because they're going to say a lot of stuff that you already agree with. And sometimes them kind of people can be indirectly misleading because you put yourself in a bubble and you don't seek ideas from other external forces. And I think that's one of our biggest detriments as a people. We get locked in one idea and we only living in this physical existence,
Right.
in this third dimension, only one time. So how can all of this in this whole entire world, and you lock yourself into one system for the rest of your life?
Wow.
I think that's the biggest hypocrisy. That's the biggest form of deception. I think it's the biggest form of manipulation. It's the biggest disservice to yourself.
Facts.
Whenever you go against self, you're going against God. So when you talking religious or spirituality, anytime you go against self, you're going against the creator, because you are the creator. You create your reality through your physical existence, through your mental senses, through all your faculties. You create this reality yours. You gotta be responsible for it. Not give it to some force outside of yourself.
Right.
Because as long as you do that, you got room to fail. But if you know that all the burden is on you, then you'll be really careful about the steps you make.
Yeah.
And you'll take responsibility for them, because you know it. Nobody gonna come to my aid but me.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you can pray to whatever God you want to, but at the end of the day, you gotta put in the work.
You still gotta put in the work.
That's the bottom line. So why waste time not putting in the work?
Right.
You can do all the other stuff you want, but still put in the work
That's
at the same time. That's the only thing that shows up in this physical reality. That, you know, and that's just what it is. You know? So it's like it's a spiritual warfare going on, and we don't see it. We think it's skin color, and it's not. It's over the mind.
It's a mindset.
You know, it's like good over evil. It's like, are you a force of light or you're a force of darkness? Now, I understand that this is a relative universe, so it's necessary for those opposites to exist. It's just a matter of what side of the force are you gonna be on. Are you gonna feed the darkness? Some people gonna have to feed the darkness.
Indeed.
It's just that we want the ones that feed the light. We over here. You know what I'm saying? We changing our mind if evidence prove otherwise. We don't stay stuck in no one system. If something shows up, it ain't about no feelings and none of that. So it's like when new evidence show up, it's time to remove the feelings, man. You know what I mean? Stop thinking like these women. Women think emotional. That's understandable. But a man's supposed to be logical. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on. It's like they got a reason to feel that way. We shouldn't be reflecting our decisions off of no feelings. You know what I mean? I ain't saying don't have them, but don't base your feelings off your decisions off no feelings. That's not masculine. The universe can't even support you and send you feedback to help you. It's like downloading software. You put in the wrong code, it's not going to open. You know. So it's like we're really like biological computers. You know what I mean? So we program the DNA that we emit and that people pick up on frequency. You can look at somebody and you pick up anger, you can pick up sadness, you can pick up happiness. It ain't a word had to be said. You don't have to know from a can of paint. But there's an intelligence that exists. That's the higher you. That's the elevated self that we always was taught to suppress. That's the God in you. That's the temple. That's the church. You don't have to go to no building to find God. God in you. You are the temple. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. All that. That's right here. It's your Trinity. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can't get spooked out with it. We gotta start using that, downloading that software and applying in all of those principles that code represent. We are geniuses. Like this will never happen again. You know how long it take for existence to happen to get to this form where we can use a mind to create our reality. At one time, all this shit just was stone and dust.
Big deal.
You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, we don't give ourselves enough credit. You know what I mean? We want to be acknowledged for something, and we're not putting out that same frequency for that, because we shouldn't have to beg people for it. We shouldn't have to scream out for attention, please see me. You know, when you're happy with self, you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? So we got to learn how to get happy with self. The way we ain't got to scream, see me. They'll see that reflection from the way we treat each other. And we don't have to tell them nothing about it. They can say nigga all they want, and they ain't gonna bother us because we happy with who we are. But when we feel like that shit true, we offended. So it's like, let's just clean up the word, not silence the messenger. You know, we don't want to. We want to silence the messenger. Don't tell our truth. Shut up. Don't make the truth go away. That's just like you take an aspirin or something for a headache. You know, it don't kill the headache. It just trick the sense to not receive the signal to get the pain. But the headache there. That's why some time go away, that bitch back. Because it's never went nowhere. It's like you're tricking. Deprogramming your cell. You deprogramming your DNA. To expect that. You know what I mean? The more you put lotion on your hand, the more you need it. Because you tricking your DNA. You turning off genes to say that I don't need that. All I got, I'm gonna get it. But when you don't get it, your cell, your oils and your natural is going to automatically start to come to treat.
You've been helping me while you ain't helping me now.
It's intelligence. We train it, you know. So it's like we got to recognize our magnificence, man, and start acting on it, because we can be getting hit with a nuke tomorrow. This is a crazy world.
No
When we
doubt.
got hit with COVID, it came out of nowhere. We could have always been wiped the fuck out, just like that. So that should have made people really put stuff into perspective and really stop taking stuff for granted. You know what I mean? And said, damn, yo, that could have been it. Now we got some stuff going on now. That's like stuff just happen at any time. It's like every time we get relaxed, here comes something else. There's always something from a whole different angle. So my thing is, I think the people make sure that they got and that's when they would deactivate the frequency where you can't use no electronic devices, no none of that. So it's like we need to worry about trying to find out how to get some generators and try to stock up on some water and learn some shit, because this day coming we need a central meeting spot for your family. Like if we don't have no power and we can't use our phones and no navigation, what are you gonna do? Where are we gonna meet at as a family? Because everybody gonna panic and leave their house to go to their other family member house, and they're gonna have no way of saying, where are you?
This is where I am.
So now you're gonna get to their house, they ain't there. They're gonna get to your house, you ain't there. So everybody gonna panic. This is gonna force people to come together. Now you want to talk to the Miss Joette down the block that you never talked to in 20 years. Hey, did you see my sister? Everybody friendly.
Miss Joette don't have time for you.
Absolutely. No, they do now because we in a state of panic. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, like,
it's like we forced
so long not.
It's like that's when you realize, damn, how you simple thing can make you really need a person. It's like it scared me when we at the state that we at as a people, because it almost take something major to happen in order to force us to unite. Just like segregation did. You know, segregation forced us to unite. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't want to accept us. Okay, we gotta come together. We started building our own shit, and we was doing good. You know, when that was working, as dismantling it, and we the ones let them in, and we always have one of our own kind doing that. So we gotta reprogram that gene. And it was a book, another book I read by, I think his name was James Bloom, called The Lucifer Principle. Or Howard Bloom, I believe.
Howard.
And it was about that gene, about a Lucifer Principle gene that exists in all of us. And it goes against our life unless you learn how to master the Lucifer Principle. And that's what it's called, the Lucifer Principle. It's a deep joint about
that joint heavy. In fact, I don't know if the E-Logan remember, I came in the new jail for a brief moment with it, and I let them read my copy, and they packed me up the next day. And I said, no, go ahead and keep it. He was like, no, go ahead, I got the information, I'm gonna order it. Because we always was exchanging books and ideas. I don't even know if you remember that. He had me pulled down in 7, I think, where you was at. And I had the Lucifer Principle, the copy of it. I think, shout out to Basilia, wherever you at. Basilia, my Greek and Italian home girl from Queens, used to bless me with the books to read, man. And that was one of the joints that she had sent me. And it opened up a lot of chambers in my energy grid. And I think that a lot of times we fall short in helping people because we forget the energy grid or the energy pattern in our body and our mind. And even in these computers, they all have a particular grid that's created a particular way for the energy to travel through it and for it to function. Sometimes we eat the wrong food, we think the wrong thoughts, and it'll upset our whole energy grid. You know what I'm saying? You might have something happen to you and it hasn't happened to you physically. You have a conversation with somebody and it becomes so disrupting that your whole energy frequency change. And you can't regular you, your normal so offset within you, and the other people who don't have anything to do with the conversation or the other disruption that happened, they're looking at you like, why am I getting this from you? Why this version of you showing up with me? Because you haven't aligned or realigned that frequency grid within you to filter the bullshit out that the other person just dumped on you. And so sometimes we got to go back to the Lazarus chamber. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the scripture, Jesus had to raise Lazarus from the dead. He wasn't even dead. The people was like, Lazarus has died. And Jesus walked over to the grave and said, oh, he's just asleep. Reached down and hit him with the master grip and raised them back up from the dead. And I think that's what happened. Our energy grid get thrown off and we get into a deep deaf state of our thinking process, and people start getting that deaf side of us until somebody come along like I'm doing now with my words and reminding you when somebody put a different frequency in you, go somewhere and empty that shit out first. and then come back as your normal self. When ducks fight, since they don't really have a weapon or a sense of defense provided in them, what they do is when ducks fight, they bump into each other with their little duck bill. And then to let go of the excess anger they have, they'll flap their wings real fast and then float off like never happened. Because instead of holding on to the energy of the hate and the dislike, it is released through the rapid flapping of their wings. That is something that we need to develop. And Brother Knowledge so heavy with it, like in his group, they had the 10-second rule. We still have the 10-second rule. It's like right before something great pop off, you have to be witty enough to stop yourself and take that 10-second rule and just pause for 10 seconds and think, damn, about what you're about to do. And that is symbolic to the flapping of the wings and throwing off that excess energy that you're holding on to that will allow you to crash out. Because as the wise and civilized, we don't crash out. You know, we're thinking men. We chess players. We don't crash out. Crash is a fucking accident. Think about it. We don't crash out. We ain't going out. We ain't crashing and going out. We're going within. We're going to go within and find out what the fuck is going wrong within so we can straighten the without. So we don't do no crashing out. A crash is an accident. I want y'all to understand they call it spelling because it's casting a spell with the word game. And so we got to think about this shit. Like, this shit is heavy. And chess, when somebody got you in checkmate, you already know it's over. Checkmate. When you in jail, they call you an inmate. Because you're inmate. Checkmate. They got you in a state of mate. Anytime somebody checkmate your ass and put you in mate, oh, you in a position that's not peace. And so now they call you an inmate. You know what I'm saying? And language is everything. So when you understand how it's used against you, it'll make you be like, God damn. Talking about my man ain't never romantic. He don't know romance at all. I ain't no motherfucking romance. I'm not romantic because that's their concept of what being loving and caring and adoring is. I ain't no damn Roman. So I'm not romantic and I don't know romance because I'm not a Roman. And since the root word of everything, you have a prefix and a suffix on these words and these shits lock you in a particular way of thinking. They call this shit a cell phone because you locked in a cell for a few. You on the phone and can't get off the motherfucker. You texting all day and doing all this shit on the phone. It's a cell phone. It's composed of cells. A cell blocks you in or locks you in. Stuck at that very moment. So we got to understand that this also creates the gap because you can't even correspond with people no more through a lot of interfacing with computer boards and shit. We lose that every day. How you doing? Like Brother Knowledge was just talking about until disaster strikes. You know what I'm saying? We lose the ability to communicate live. I got people at work with me. They'll sit right in the desk next to me and send me an email. I'm like, what the fuck? As if keeping your head around. It's not about business, it's about lunch. So if you like, you can't put your motherfucking long ass neck around the corner, say, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it goes back to ability to communicate face to face, and a lot of children go through that by playing them video games all day. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we had these games. We had It's and Freeze Tag, and we was staying healthy and young by running around all goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? And playing games that got our heart rate going, had us throwing off. Now we getting fat at 11. Like, you ain't see that many fat 11-year-old motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? We was running around doing our thing. And then we ate a bunch of bullshit. And no shade to the fat people. Love my fat people. You know what I'm saying?
Fat people that just some people a little bit bigger than others.
No doubt, no doubt. And so the thing is, we didn't even think. Man, I done ate 5 fucking packs of Now Laters. But by the time we get in the house, we done ran that shit off. I done ate 6 donuts, 5. When you little, you just smashing junk food. Now the motherfucker eat a honey bun and he one motherfucking a cake mix layer away from a fucking diabetic coma. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not as active. Because that energy not being exerted because there's too many distractions around. We had brothers, it was masters at breakdancing and shit. Right on the block. You don't see that no more. Motherfuckers will just be on the block breakdancing. You might have motherfuckers at the top of the block and do backwards flips down the whole fucking block. Or be in the open field in the school and had our own hood gymnastics. So we was in a better shape, a better condition. And this is no attack on anybody, but if you look at people like me and Wood age, we don't even look our age. Motherfuckers be like, yo, I thought you was like 40. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm 50 something, like pastor something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that energy, like we trying to bring that back, trying to bring that whole concept of love back to the point where even if I'm mad at you, it don't mean I don't have love for you no more. Now we get mad at a motherfucker and let the anger consume us because we don't have knowledge of self. Like, fuck that, yo, I'm just being me. You haven't found out who you are yet. So the version of what you're being is a concept of what you was told, but you never awakened the real you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, who am I? Take away your name. Take away all these fancy titles. You're gonna know I'm the king and all this old shit. You know what I'm saying? Until something happened and now you're acting unkingly. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you are, circumstance can't change that. That's how you know what you really are. Conditions and circumstances, they can't change that. We talked about one time how when we was in the cut in Jessup, they took everybody clothes and put us all in lime green hats and blue and gray state jeans. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, not everybody, but some dudes who didn't have an identity, they lost their identity. Without any labels to wear, they didn't know who they was. They was walking around blind, deaf, and more dumb. And so once you discover who you truly are, now it's time to activate that. It's time to build on it. Then it's time to touch somebody with it. You seen the show Touched by an Angel. Once you get touched, yo, that change come in. That's when the process of growth and development come in. You know what I'm saying? That's when your mind states start building and you like, oh shit, I'm something greater than I was ever told. You know what I'm saying? And so this is how you bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying? This is how you fill in that void. This is how you close that bridge. And this is what we are in the process of doing. But we're not going to hurt you or us by trying to get you to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Each seed is planted in the mind and in the garden. And that seed has to grow. It has to germinate. And oftentimes this process has to happen through the black woman. I know a lot of this they really get lost sometimes in the role that they play, but I want to give you a jewel real quick, and I hope it don't get past you. Upon Jesus' resurrection, he was in a garden, I believe, of Gethsemane. And as he was chilling in the garden, none of his disciples recognized who he was upon his resurrection. He's in a garden. A garden is where seeds are planted. And this chick named Mary Magdalene, out of all his disciples, was the only one who recognized that that was Jesus. And Mary Magdalene had a quote-unquote reputation, but it was the wisdom of the woman who could see the Savior for who he truly was as the true seed planter in that garden. And a seed that is planted is symbolic of life-giving birth. The woman is the garden. The seed is when you impregnate her. So Jesus was standing as the true gardener, you know what I'm saying, in that garden. And we got to be true gardeners, man, and plant our thoughts, plant our seeds in these sisters' minds and vice versa, and wake up the dead, man, and close these gaps with this intelligence. It's not about religion. We just quote these books and these life lessons so you can apply according to what is needed. And that's why we got this medication. Some people only believe what's coming out the Bible. Some people only believe what's coming out the Quran. Some people only believe what's coming from the supreme mathematics. So me and Brother Knowledge going to give you what you believe in. If I got to wake you up by spitting the Bible, then that's what I'm going to do. If you God body, you 5%, you wisdom body, and I got to give you the mathematics, the actual facts, the solar facts, and the whole 120, then I'm going to use that because your resurrection is more important than what school I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? If I got that witness, Jehovah Witness, and come with that degree, then I know that too. And I think that's the beauty of being a true enlightener. When you study so much of it, it's like it's not too many conversations you can't hold. You know what I'm saying? And we hold that light, man. We trying to give it to you to bring you out the mental state of darkness and ignorance and being blind.
Thanks
You know
for
what I'm
saying all
saying?
that. 'Cause somebody called me the other day, a gentleman I didn't even know watched the show.
Right.
He actually called and was talking about, y'all coming on today, did I know the time? And I said no. And he asked, y'all 5%ers, I think is what he said.
Yeah, we
and
are.
I said, I really can't give you the answer to it, but I can tell you who they are, what they speak, and what I get. I said, I'm a person who can talk to most anybody. So I really can't say what somebody's religion is because I don't let myself stop at what your religion is
Right.
for me to have a conversation. I can just have a conversation.
Right.
So I wanted to bring that up just in case he watching. I didn't even know he watched.
Yeah,
He
but
watched from
right
YouTube.
quick for those that don't know before I pass the
Yeah.
mic to the God, is that being a 5%, it actually is not a religious degree to it. Although it has religious tenets because the word Islam is used. But for a true 5%, Islam is an acronym. It is a breakdown of each letter, which is I sincerely love Allah's mathematics, I stimulate light and matter, or I study life around. That's the approach that me and the God take. Is more so like we study life around us. The study of life in general on this plane, on the spiritual plane, the metaphysical plane, that is our approach to everything. So yeah, we can build with the gods, we know the lessons, but we're not stuck in that chamber. You know what I'm saying? We know the Bible, but we not Christians where we stuck in that chamber. We know the Quran, but we ain't Muslims, we ain't stuck in that chamber. We know more science, but we ain't an L or a Bay. We understand that all religions are constructs by men to get other men and women to think a particular way for a particular form of control. Constantine took the symbol of the cross and he said, under this symbol shall I conquer. We ain't coming to conquer you with religion. We coming to wake you up from what's in it that can keep you limited and apply what sets you free,
Okay.
if I may.
No doubt.
Because I didn't have an answer. I said, I talk to people. I don't let because it might be something that I ain't believe in. You know, I don't let that get into who I know and who I talk to.
Right.
The religion doesn't base my relationship. So I didn't know what to tell him. So I'm glad I remember that you brought that up, that I could tell y'all. He asked that question.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
Watch y'all from
definitely.
YouTube.
That's
what's
good.
up.
I'm glad. You know, people be watching.
And yeah, can you give the address to your location?
Yeah.
You know, Brick this way. He knew that one right off the bat.
Of the new spot.
161.
Yeah.
That's 1049 West Saratoga Street for my Uncommon Dialogue.
Facts.
Every Tuesday at 6:30 to 8:30. That's on Saratoga and Schroeder Street.
Yeah.
Right by the swimming pool that they rebuilding on.
Greater model.
Greater model. But we had some interesting discussions in there. We get it in. We add on. We doing our purpose. You know, we gotta all have to participate in acts of service. So every chance we get, we doing some kind of act of service because we do it from the heart. Because a lot of times we took a lot from the world, so we trying to return back to the world in the way that we can, not by living through remorse and sorrow, because we not no pity the fool kind of people.
Right.
So we just go and pick up from where we left off and just beautify and magnify and multiply what we touch, and we take that and disperse it. Because knowledge held inside is like not having it at all. So we try to take the knowledge, send it through the filter, break it down, and give it to those that need it in the language that they understand it. That's the belief. That's a true teacher. You got to be able to give people, not just quote nothing, not just stating it. You know, you being able to dissect it and give it to them in their terms, on their level of understanding. You know what I mean? So, and that's just really what it's about. It ain't about. It's about meeting them where they at, knowing where they at, and knowing what they need for their next step.
Right.
Not trying to predict their future. Not trying to tell nobody what to do. It's just more so, damn, I know the direction he going in. He gonna be thirsty by the time he get to this point. So let me make sure I got some water right there.
Right.
So when he get there, he can drink it and keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
You know what I mean? I'm not
Keep
trying to hold him up. I'm not trying to
Right.
stop your life and avert your life unless you heading for destruction. Then I feel like I'm supposed to drop a jewel on you, which you do with is on you from that point.
At least I gave you the water.
But my job is not to follow up with you, to keep getting you right. Because now I'm taking my time away from me.
Now you gotta get replenished.
Which could be going somewhere else.
Right.
You know, so it's like it's a give and take. We all got a certain amount of duty to pay, and we the only one know what we've done. So we should know, be the responsible one to know how much we need to be giving back. And we got so many people out here that take so much from the world and they don't give nothing back. You know, in no kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And that's the imbalance. And as long as we have people like that, it's kids that's coming up under them kind of people seeing that. Now you got 5 other ones coming up with that same trait. So now where it was 1, it became 5, then it became 25, then it became 50. And that's how it multiplied, bad behavior. So we gotta fight them forces back with positive behavior and good light and good jewels. Shorty, you don't do that. Why you got your pants like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta find a way to know how to like give them the jewel without really pushing them away. You know what I mean? Because we do them a disservice if we see something that can be corrected and we don't.
Right.
You know, that's like, you know, your buddy at the house, y'all partying and they drinking a little too much. And you know they driving by themselves. And they're your friend, and you know that they're intoxicated. You as a friend should not let that happen. So because if this go wrong, you'll never be able to get past it. Now you gotta live with that the rest of your day of your life, and everybody else knew that how did you let them drive like that? And now you gotta create a lie to defend your justification. That no, I didn't know that they were, whatever it is, a lie coming with it. Because you ain't gonna be able to live with the guilt by yourself saying I knew better. You know what I mean?
Depending on the type of person you are.
Depending on the type of person you are. You know what? Yeah, man, that's what it is. Insight from the gods. That's what we doing. We giving our divine zigzag zig. That's knowledge,
right.
wisdom, and understanding.
No doubt.
Days math, knowledge, equality, all being born to God. That's
Better
what we're
believe
doing.
it. Giving you that God degree.
Giving the knowledge, bringing knowledge to the balance and the scales of my yacht, making sure that your soul should be lighter than a feather. On this earth in existence, so that you can make sure your spirit always eternally resonate within this frequency, because it'll carry on through your seeds and their seeds.
No doubt.
As long as the vibration is present and it's high. But if it's low, then it get replaced.
No doubt. That's a heavy build there, Lord. I was thinking about the day's math as you was busting it down and giving your degree. 7 is God, all wise and supreme, and the importance of the number 7 in our reality. As you know, those that study Buddhism and meditation, you know, there's 7 energy centers that we call chakras, or wheels of light in the body. And the more awakened we become, the more these 7 chakras become aligned. You know what I'm saying? And the more we get in tune with the God within. And it's all in scripture if your eye is open and you understand what you're reading. In the book of Revelations, it talks about a book being sealed with 7 seals. And it says nobody was able to open the book until the mighty lion from the tribe of Judah came and opened the book and released the 7 seals. And a lot of times when we be building, we really have some heavy shit. Sometimes we just keep it light. But for the sake of, you know what I'm saying, taking your dome to the highest frequency we can at any given moment, I want to share some esoteric information, which is the inner side to these teachings. This book sealed with 7 seals is not a literal book. That book sealed with 7 seals is you. The reason why nobody could open the book except for the mighty lion from the tribe of Judah is because the book is the anatomical structure of your body. The 7 seals are those 7 energy centers within that body that needs to be released or open. When you're born as a child, you have a soft spot in your skull. In the spiritual world, that soft spot is called your pineal gland. It is softer than any other part of your skull because it is a spiritual eye. You have another eye in the middle of the forehead, literally called your pituitary gland. This is your infamous third eye. When you hear people say, yeah, because my third eye open, half of them don't even know where it's at. They're just saying a word that is familiar with them. But your third eye is your pituitary gland. It connects with the pineal gland through meditation, and this is described as the marriage in heaven. When these 2 glands are in full cooperation and operationally functioning through the body, it creates a divine enlightenment where you become a walking, talking miracle. And this is all of our goal, to literally become God. Psalms 82, I have said all of you are gods, but children of the Most High. We have forfeited that right because we are in no practice where we are awakening the God within. We doing everything to create that separation, that great divide. We are divided amongst ourselves. We have a body of desires that desire weed, that desire habits. I'm not going to say drink or weed. It desires a habit, because you can do it, but don't have the habit where it rules you. And I think that's where we get lost, when we let a thing govern and rule our life. Your head sets in the middle of your body, not on the right or the left. It's set in the middle because your intelligence is supposed to govern both sides. This is the balance of Mayat scale. It comes from the head, from the intelligence. This is the right side and the left side. When you look at a battery, it has a plus on one side and a subtraction sign on the other side. This is because subtraction means to take away from. The plus sign means to add on. But your head sets in the middle of your right and your left, which is the add and the subtract. Simple as that. Everything is governed by your intelligence. You are electrical beings. You are the battery. You have a solar plexus. The word solar means sun. The word soul, S-O-L, on the word solar is Latin for sun. You are a walking universe. This is God body. This is 5%. This is the knowledge of self. This is the Egyptian degrees. This is telling the disciples. And before I pass it to the God, you had 12 disciples. Jesus made the 13th, but he wasn't a disciple. He was the master of the disciples. And the 13th letter of the alphabet is M for master. That's how our lessons build, and that's how we give it. Peace.
No doubt, no doubt. Tough act or foul. Right.
Just let it flow, boy. You know how we do, man. We just give up gym stars.
Talking about, but he is at the same time. I got
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
He made me think of something when he was just talking about like the 12 disciples and the Jesus degree, right? Because I'm gonna take it to a physical level, right? Like the seasons, right? We in fall, right? This is the death cycle, which means that the sun's presence every day, once we hit fall, it disappears by 1 minute, all the way until it get to December the 21st, right? Which is the equinox, right? No, that's the solstice. We got the winter solstice coming, December the 21st, right? And solstice is a Latin term which means sun is still, meaning that the sun is not moving. So when they say that Jesus was born on the 25th, this is just the birth of the sun, because the sun appeared to die out, right? Remember how in the Bible talk about how Samson lost his hair, right? He lost his power. He lost his power was significant to the rays of the sun. The frequency of the sun and the impact it have on us as individuals, as African people. Melanated beings, right? Melanated is carbon-6. That's what we are. So as the seasons die, as fall dies out, comes to an end, right? And the sun, we get down to 9 hours of sunlight, right? That's why I get dark so fast, right? All it is that the earth in relation to the sun is moving around its orbit and it's crossing the equator. So on December the 21st, which is the solstice, the sun sits still for 3 days. And then on December the 25th, it starts its ascension by 1 minute. Its presence increased by 1 minute every day, all the way until we get to the equinox, which is spring, which will be back to the light, the life-giving force, right? Spring, this is where everything that died in the fall comes back to life, because the frequency of the sun's presence is now more magnificent. So it went from 9 hours of sunlight to 12 hours in 3 months, because it increased by 1 minute every day, all the way until the earth passes across the equator. And this is what the Jews consider the Passover. And this is why their feast is always around that same time of the New Year. So because it's really celebrate new life.
Tell them what they celebrate now.
They celebrate new life. So this is how you know that the new year is not January. The new year is really March, because that's spring. This is when everything that died comes back to life. This is why they said that Jesus resurrected, because it resembles new life. And people used to always say, well, what Easter Bunny and Easter eggs got to do with Easter because rabbits got the shortest gestation period, which means they procreate rapidly. So it's a sign of new life, eggs, new life, new
Fertility,
birth, resurrection. This is why Jesus' birthday, Resurrection Day, Easter, never on the same day. It's always on the same, it's always on a different day because it's regulated by the first Sunday after the first full moon of the spring equinox, right? That's how they determine when Easter going to be.
Okay.
At one time it wasn't. It was always just March 25th, back on Julius Caesar time. You know what I mean? So man, the God can go deep. We can go all over.
I see.
So just that is like celestial phenomenon,
right?
Esoteric sciences.
That's right.
So all it is celestial orb. Jesus was like the center of the clock or the sun, and the 12 disciples was like the 12 hands on the clock or the 12 planets in the solar system. It's all the same. It's cosmic forces, the same thing. Star knowledge of the stars. Helios Biblios, holy book, right? Star knowledge of the stars is how religion derives. So that's where it come from. All the stars, our ancestors, they used to read the stars. When the sun used to burn on certain metal elements at a certain, when they smelt certain smells that burnt, they knew what time it was. That's how they knew what time it was when the season was changed, because they was able to take all the natural minerals and elements from the earth and use that to calculate everything in existence.
Facts.
Y'all got some knowledge.
Ren, peace, Elo. I see you, Elo. Peace.
Okay.
Ren, Elo, peace.
Yeah, so that's the signs on the fall and the spring and the equinox. So equinox is Latin for equal night, which means if you got equal night, you got equal day. So this is when we'll be back to 12 hours of sunlight, 12 hours of night. This is in the spring. But at first in the fall, we only get 9 hours. So from Christmas, the sun's presence increase 1 minute every day. We get 1 minute extra sunlight all the way until they get to 12 and 12. Now we're going into a new season. So everything is related around the celestial bodies.
Facts.
I got some homework.
No doubt. That 12 mean melanin is saturated in 12 passageways in the brain.
No doubt.
So when that sunlight hits your third eye, trust that melanin is being distributed through the body from the brains, and the frequency of the thinking is originally melanated. This is why we say black people are the original people. We're not just the original body, we are the original mind in the universe. And everything that we touched had our melanin written all over it. Human. The word hue denotes a color. Hue is a color. Man is mind. A human is a dark mind, a black mind, an original mind. The stars we see in the universe come from black space, triple darkness. You never seen a white light escape a black hole. You cannot. Black was first. God never had to say, let there be dark. That didn't have a beginning. He said, let there be light. This means light has a point where it began. The darkness does not. And so we're here to give you that light. And this will be your beginning point of the resurrection of your thinking and your actions. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we move. That's how we build. And these are type of words that add power to people's being. Because when you talk this way, you're in a world that I have something of value to say. When you speak to the queen in a woman, can you imagine meeting a woman or a man and you're a woman and you just bomb them with some astrological shit that pertains to his body? You're gonna be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? She just took me in the stars. You get what I'm saying? And vice versa. When your mind is lit with jewels and intelligence and you meet a woman and you give this woman all the substance you got in your mind, you have already psychologically and spiritually copulated with her and produced spiritual children long before your bodies connect. And this is the importance of knowing when you have met somebody that is in tune with everything you have to offer, your light, you know what I'm saying, and your dark, because you need both of those to function. You can't recognize one without the other, since we live in a world of opposites and distinctions. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we coming. I'm grateful, man, for the people that have supported us for so long. I want to change channels a little bit because I'm always grateful, I'm always thankful, and I'm always appreciative. And I want the people that tune in every Thursday to hear us. Sometimes when we be late, but y'all still post up and be there, we appreciate that. Everybody that sincerely support our groups, everybody that show up to receive the blessings that we give away, whether it be watches to the youth, coats to the youth, food, or just our jewels. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to buy the people. We want to give you information where you know how to obtain anything you need by what you know. And this is one message I have to leave with the youth before I let the God close out, is that the baddest person in the room is never the most powerful.
You always do that as a child.
The smartest person in the room is the most powerful because he knows how to do everything that everybody else don't. Him and submit. You can't beat him up and get his knowledge. If you the toughest one in the room, that ain't gonna make him pour out all the stuff he know. You know what I'm saying? You can't con him out of it. But if you sit at his foot and you learn from him, it's a form of submitting to a higher intelligence, and it raises your intelligence, and it creates that harmony that we talking about, that harmonious connection that we be building on. And that's what we're out to do, man. Get that harmony back, get the community back, get the youth back on track, letting them know, put the Godz you nows down. That's the guns. You know what I'm saying? Put the guns down. You know what I'm saying? Stop taking black life, man, and learn how to build instead of destroy, because it's easier to destroy than it is to build. So you got to get your shit together. We got to get our shit together. It's not a you thing, a me thing. It's a us thing. It ain't my problem. It ain't your problem. This shit is our problem. You know what I'm saying? We in this together. Your beef is mine. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I'm going to sign off on that and let the God carry the last few minutes out. Peace and blessings.
Indeed, no doubt. Yeah, we about to wrap up, but to the people out there, we appreciate y'all as always tuning in. You gonna get this real. You ain't gonna hear nothing about no Beyonce. You ain't gonna hear about nobody else's life. We just
No
trying
doubt.
to help each other fix our own life. We need to be tending
Facts.
to our life. Our life need the most intention and the most reconstruction.
Yep.
So we don't have no time to be worrying about what nobody else doing, how much money nobody else making, who doing what. We need to be worrying about us, focused on us, and what we need to do as a people, because we gotta leave the people that come behind us something. We gotta leave the grandkids something. And I ain't talking about no money and no house, because we know that shit, you don't own that either. I don't care if you think you own your house, you still don't own your house. As long as you don't pay them land taxes, they come to take that house. So really, we playing a game in the matrix where nothing really count. So the shit we think we own, we don't own.
Yep.
Get a car, you own it. Pay it out cash, no doubt, but you gotta pay the insurance people to drive it. You don't pay the people insurance people to drive it, you can't drive it. So do you really own it? No, you don't really own it. Do you really own your house? No, because you'll never own the land that is on. Even when you think you own it, you don't, because you're still paying land tax. If you don't pay land tax, they're gonna take the house because it's on that lot. So it's like an illusion. So we need to stop taking this money thing so personal, because it's severing relationships, it's severing ties with people, and it's all illusion. It ain't backed by nothing. There's no goal. It's just only value that money have is the belief that we have in it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we gotta stop, like, we severing relationships over a couple dollars. You know what I mean? All that. So it's like we in this rat race, and we got bills to pay. We pay them bills. He got a bill, man, and it all go in one side and go in one circle. It's like we do all this working, and then the money go right back to the same people. You know, go back to the bank. The bank control everything that we own. So even though we got this car and this house, we still owe the bank for it. We still paying them. So it's a rat race. So let's stop taking this shit that personal and take our lives more serious. You know what I mean? Because it's like we just offended by too much shit now instead of our own reality. That's what we need to be offended by. You know, then that's where the work began. But if you don't think nothing wrong, you ain't gonna never fix nothing.
Right.
You know, they don't got nothing to fix. So we gotta start holding our own selves accountable. It's okay to say I'm sorry, or I apologize if you fuck somebody over, or if you disrespected them because you was upset. Sometimes you're gonna get upset, you're gonna snap on people. But the onus is on you to fix that. Not them. They shouldn't understand. And tomorrow you want to go back like everything cool, and then you mad with them because they feeling some kind of way. No, you just disrespected me yesterday. I ain't gonna be right until you apologize sincerely. Some people don't think they should do that. You know what I mean? And everybody deserves that. If you still stuck your neck out there and offended or disrespected somebody, whether you think it was valid or not, you owe that person an apology as a human being. If nothing else,
That's
it's
one
not
habit
for
I'm
them.
glad I had.
It should be for you. You know, for your own dignity. You should
You
have
know when
dignity.
you did something wrong.
Yeah,
You know
and it's
what
like
you
no
did. You know what
need
you
justifying it. You know, I hate
Right.
that. You know,
No
so
doubt.
yeah. So that's just what I want to say. And in closing, I appreciate it. We'll definitely see y'all next week.
No doubt.
Tune in. Topics as usual.
As
Throw some
usual.
suggestions. We're gonna get to it. Don't try us. We read every book out there.
I see.
No
And
doubt.
and what my last thing I'm gonna say on this is, we need to come up with a remedy for problem solving. Like you got beef with a dude, play him on the basketball one-on-one. Play him in some chess one-on-one. Play him in some pool one-on-one.
Okay,
Some
beef
ping
out.
pong. Like we gotta figure out how to go back to that. Like you can still be mad. Ain't nobody saying don't be mad.
Right.
You ain't gonna disagree or one fight or whatever. But we gotta put a cap back on it. We gotta start going back to encouraging. Yo, y'all both box. We gonna get some gloves. Go ahead and fight and get that shit over with. And we leaving it right
from
here.
that point
And
on,
we
that shit
gotta-
is dead.
And we gotta show the kids this how it go.
Yup.
You fight, go get the gloves. Then.
Yup.
Your mother come, your father, whoever, and watch them. They gonna fight right here, and we're gonna shake hands, and they gonna go home,
it's
and
done.
that's what it is. We're gonna
Yup.
give it something to eat
Teach them
after that.
children.
This is the only
Down
way
the
they're gonna
line,
learn.
separate,
You
stay
can't tell them
friends.
shit. You gotta show them that.
Yeah.
You know, make them compete. Whatever they good at, they for good in basketball. Make them play one-on-one. They
Mm-hmm.
good in football. Come on, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Football practice. Let's go, both of y'all.
Yup.
Both parents get together and get them.
Yup.
That's your duty. This is the only way to show the rest of the people
Yeah.
how it go. Like it's nothing. It costs nothing. We sitting there paying all this money. We done got so tricked. I know we supposed to wrap up, but here it comes. We done got so fucking tricked with this fucking
Give it to him, Elo.
with this fucking system that we're perpetuating non-violent programs because we want money. We not trying to really attack the problem.
Right.
We don't want the problem to go away.
Right.
We want more programs.
Right.
Because more programs bring more money. But we don't need more programs. We need more serious people.
Right.
That's on deck that's gonna make the change. So we getting all these programs because they're giving out money for
They're
it.
giving the funds
But
for it.
it's using us to dismantle our own people.
Right.
We destroying our own culture because we greedy. And we ain't doing nothing with it but flexing on each other with it.
Right.
And showing up wanting to look cute. And showing how much money I'm getting off of exploiting my own fucking people.
Right.
That part.
You know what I mean? So I despise that shit. So when me and La Kim do this shit, we do this shit from the
From the
mud.
heart.
We from the heart. We ain't chasing no bag. We want it, no doubt.
Right.
Because it take finance to uplift the nation.
So
no
we ain't
doubt.
selling our
But
soul
we ain't
for it.
selling our souls for
We
it.
ain't
And we
doing
ain't
it.
gonna compromise our people. The people we help
Yeah, and
sincerely.
that's what it
right.
is.
We help. It ain't for no bag. It ain't for no props. It ain't for no pictures. It's nobody's ass.
No doubt.
No pictures. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We ain't
We
them
don't do
niggas.
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We
So
ain't
we ain't
doing
be
that.
real about it. So that's where we come from, that place.
That's what it
That's
is.
why you'll never see us in certain pictures, in certain circles with certain niggas
Yup.
that claim they do the certain shit because our frequency too high.
Yup.
And them niggas know that shit.
Yup.
And that's why I say this shit, because I know them kind of niggas watch this shit. And
Right.
I'm talking to you
They ain't
kinda
gonna
niggas.
like it, but they scrutinizing
talking
it.
to
Yeah,
y'all.
and I'm telling y'all,
Yeah.
don't ask me, is he serious? Because they got
I'm
heavy
dead
accent
serious.
about you.
Yeah, I'm
he
dead
did serious.
Yeah,
These
I
is his
don't-
words.
Ain't nothing fake
It's
about
not
me.
stereotype.
Dead
all
ass.
that.
Don't nobody ask
Dead
me.
ass.
Don't make me wear my mega hat in here, let you know how real it get. Yeah, straight up. But nah, that shit
Yeah.
irritate me, man, 'cause there's
Yeah.
a lot of fakes out here.
Yeah.
And these niggas really be hating. And there's a lot of silent hate shit going on.
Yeah.
For real.
And when you highly elevated, we see it. So them kind of niggas stay away because they don't want us to see that shit.
Yup.
I'm a chess player. They know Wood was a chess master in the joint.
Yeah.
And all of them know it.
No
and they
doubt.
know I play that shit for real. I played it in the joint and I play it out here. So my life is real. But I move these niggas like pawns because I know what they for.
Right.
And the niggas that's of value, they automatically align with me because we on the same frequency. And the
No doubt.
ones that ain't, they ain't supposed to be over there. That's why I don't
Facts.
ask them niggas to do shit. I don't ask them niggas to support shit. Because
Yup.
they see it. They don't want us to rise, but that's my motivation. And I'm going to bring them niggas up. Watch what I tell
Yup.
you. They going to be on my
Facts.
shit.
And sometimes
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, and that's how I'm gonna lead that.
And the God has
That was dope.
spoken
That
and
was dope.
You know,
spoken
I go
into
off.
existence. 5400
I know.
Preakness Way Hill. You know what I'm saying? 60. What's it?
Yeah, 1049 West Saratoga Street. You know where to find me.
Everybody,
Yeah.
forget your address.
1049 West
Saratoga
Saratoga,
Street.
old greater model, the new greater model. Y'all know what it is, man.
Saratoga and Schroeder.
Straight
You
up.
from the city,
Arlington, I think.
Saratoga.
Saratoga and Arlington.
Schroeder.
Yeah, good group. Down, holler. Yeah, that's Arlington. Schroeder, like where Harvard City at, but Arlington's
Yeah,
where the swimming pool at.
It come right into
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's more
Same
on
thing.
that side.
Same difference.
Yeah, so I see y'all around, you know what I
Right.
mean?
All
Yeah.
right.
Y'all be safe.
what it
Peace.
Don't like
Nobody move. Nobody gets hurt.
that part. All right. Let's see that.
Peace.
Okay.
Soldier boy. Let's see, so.